But anyways, guys, let's move on to a happier topic, a topic that I want Ant to eat his words on because he was on Twitter out here saying like Nate Diaz is dead to us, proud of 40 for him, like he's done to me. And
I
what
didn't
like
say all that.
I in my story you did. Um and then like I want to say like a week later, Nate Diaz comes out here like, nope, I'm fighting guys. And on top of that, I'm fighting Anthony Pettis, who just had a knockout of the year performance against Steven Thompson. That honestly upset of the year as well. Um, I- Nate Diaz is just fantastic because not only is this fight a perfect Nate Diaz fight to come back on, in my opinion, with all the added context to it, but the fact that allegedly it was Diaz's camp that called Pettis' camp, and then they together went to the UFC to set this fight together, set this fight up, makes amazing sense and actually what led me to believe that this story was true when it first started getting reported. Because every time Dana White was coming out there, the UFC was coming out there ahead of the story and saying, this is the fight for Nate Diaz, I knew instantly it wasn't going to happen. Why? Because Nate Diaz will do the exact opposite of what Dana White and the UFC want. But Nate Diaz allowed to make his own fight, be his own matchmaker, be his own fucking promoter. He will do that. And you add in a fight like Anthony Pettis, which I think does interest him. Fuck yeah. I am all in favor of this fight. It Sexy is back. Nate Diaz is back. Anthony, get out of here. Okay, the real sexy is here. It's Nate Diaz.
Let's not slander the name of sexy, but this is a pretty cool thing. I do kind of remember what you were talking about, and it was more
You
so.
and Jason were shitting on Nate
No,
Diaz
we
so
weren't shitting
much.
on Nate Diaz. We were shitting on the idea that every time a Diaz brother says or tweets something, that it becomes news. That is not news. The only news that I genuinely care about is, are they healthy and safe as human beings? Okay, good. Are they fighting?
And
Okay,
to be
good.
honest,
Those are the only two things that I care that I care. Whenever one of them tweets some random cryptic, I was smoking up too much sort of bullshit. That's not on my radar. That's not something that I think warrants attention. Now, Nate Diaz fighting Anthony Pettis and how this fight came together. Yes, that warrants all the attention in the world. Sign me up. That fight's happening in Anaheim as well. So
we're going.
so we'll be there front and center on our press duties for SureDog.com on that one. So I'm excited on that end, man. This is a great fight because not only one does it take two guys who are kind of in a no man's land as far as the direction of their careers, and it puts them together in an exciting fight that also does not interfere with the title picture. That is a rare thing. That is a very rare thing.
And
I
yet
love
also
this
also
fight.
also does like add to the title picture. Like the winner of this fight could fight for a belt at 155. And honestly, like not at 170, but they're then behind the queue in my opinion, especially if Anthony Pettis' name alone is attached to this, obviously because of his win against Stephen Thompson. That adds welterweight sort of credibility to this matchup in a way. Um, if a Covington Usman fight happens, let's say August, September, November, whenever it does happen, and the winner of that fights the winner of Nate Diaz, Anthony Pettis, am I going to be upset about that? Absolutely not.
I would, but
I
um,
now would I prefer that? No, but I mean, would I be upset at that? No. Who else at welterweight is there?
Santiago Ponzinibbio. But there are definitely
Ponzinibbio needs to get his profile up.
but once again, we're talking about things outside of the fight itself. So that's where you things start getting murky with a name like Nate Diaz, because we do forget that until the Conor McGregor rub came around, he was kind of a middling fighter, but he's an exciting personality. He's someone who style wise matches up with everybody that you can think of in some sort of fan friendly way. So in that sense, yes, I'm very happy to see Nate Diaz making his return, and Anthony Pettis is the perfect guy to make that return possible. So Also too, there is some sort of feud between them that's lasted for years.
Yeah.
I don't quite know the origins of it, but I do know that they've had some sort of ill will toward each other for several years now. So there's that angle as well. This is a good fight for a lot of good reasons, and we can enjoy this without messing up title pictures. So
Or we can.
once again, the sporting integrity shall remain undisturbed.
Or we can mess up title pictures because it's Nate Diaz, and I'm completely okay with that because I'm a fanboy. Foo. I know. Don't shake your head, Ant. Just join, join the train with me, dude. The Nate Diaz train of just watching videos of him smoking weed and like going to like Cannabis Cup, and then like occasionally fighting. Like it's awesome. And on top of that, Jay in the chat, shout out to Jay, great listener, saying Nate Diaz is the only fighter I've ever seen to apparently become a better fighter whilst not actually fighting. That's hilarious.
The myth of Nate Diaz precedes what he's actually done. I'm okay with that because it makes him more money. It keeps things interesting. It keeps things exciting. But it's good to finally see the man about to step foot in the cage. I'm just hoping because keep in mind the last time he was booked was against Dustin Poirier for UFC 230, and that fell through with a Poirier injury. Anthony Pettis is notorious for being injury prone.
Stop.
So
Nope.
please wrap Pettis up in some bubble wrap. Keep him preserved. Don't let him do anything. I don't even want him to train anymore for this fight. I want him to simply just exist in bubble wrap and be driven to the cage. And that's it.
Don't put that evil on us, Ant.
Yeah,
Don't put that evil
bad
on us.
juju out there in the universe. Quickly, Jay in the chat saying you want to see Nate fight for a 170-pound title. Are you high, bro? Come on. Secondly, I will argue that even as a Nate Diaz fanboy, I have to admit Anthony Pettis should probably be the favorite. And Anthony Pettis against a Usman, yes, I think we obviously know who should win that fight, but I'm not gonna be upset with that, especially if the Anthony Pettis that knocked out Stephen Thompson. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Yeah, I get that Santiago Ponzinibbio a little bit on a better standing from a meritocracy perspective, but God, Ponzinibbio I feel like he's a guy that is just stutter stepping his entire career, and that's been hurting him. Every time he's had a big moment, he just does nothing for months afterward. Doesn't do press, is not in the limelight at all, and that hurts him.
Let's not forget that on that same card, Ben Askren versus Jorge Masvidal is taking place.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I love some fights. Phil,
So
thoughts?
I was gonna say this is in August, and I may come out and join you guys for this. I don't know. I'll have to see what I can do for that.
You have to buy a ticket though.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I just have to see where I'm at that point, but I think it's like August 17th or something, right? So this is a ways away. But yeah, I like this fight. I'm excited to see Nate back. You know, I think, you know, the more character that you can get, you know, in the UFC, and it's going to be good. You know, Askren's brought a lot to 170 with his just incessant trash talking, and Diaz being back is good for any event, right? So, and I think you're right. Pettis probably will be the favorite, but mainly just because Diaz is coming off the loss to Connor and
A 2+
a year and
layoff.
a half of inactivity or something, pretty much.
Yep.
So, but you know, you can never count Diaz out, man.
That's true. That's true. And 209, motherfucker. 209. Moving on though.